Hi guys, and welcome to today's session. My name is Agnes Silantoi, and I'll be the interim moderator, pending Mr. Dominic Kamau joining us. So with me, we have the usual Mr. Kimaya and Mr. Opolo. Karibuni sana to today's session. You're welcome.
Thank you. Bwana
Mr.
tukaribishe na
Opolo.
watuambie vile.
Inakaa Opolo amepotea. Mr. Opolo.
He's just there. The challenges, I
I
think,
can
internet.
understand these challenges, technological challenges that happened.
Now
I don't know whether you can hear us, but
ziko na shida.
oh, you can hear us, Mr. Opolo.
Yes.
Oh, anyway, last time we ended
Sorry?
a hot discussion. On Sunday, we ended our discussion on a hot seat. We even had to continue the discussion today on Wednesday. Na mali tuliachia last week on Sunday. Actually, this week on Sunday was on single parenthood, where Mr. Kimaya and I could not agree on some facts when it comes to single parenting. So, Mr. Kimaya, you had said you'll do some research on us. What do you want to tell us today about single parenthood? I remember last on Sunday, you told us that from a research that has been done, that was conducted, it was discovered that children who are raised by a single parent are more likely to end up in crime. So I don't know what new facts you have for us today. Let's hear you out. Then to our viewers also, please comment. Let us have your thoughts on the discussion for today. Let's have an interactive session. So, Mr. Kimaya.
Yes. Thank you very much, Madam Agnes, the interim moderator of the day. So, last time, I remember we were not arguing, but we didn't agree on single parenting, yes, of which I said for me, I don't support it at all. Now, maybe just before I go to the challenges that are there or the facts that I said that I'll come with. So maybe if we ask ourselves, why do we end up in single parenting? Okay, most of the reason shows that the reason being, in fact, this was a discussion in another group, but I said that I'm not going to involve myself in it. But we all agreed that now divorce is the major challenge that is leading to single parenthood. Now, but this single parenthood, as I was saying, that it's now maybe just to correct something, maybe that we didn't get clear. Maybe I think it's you didn't get it clear. When we are talking about single parenthood, we are not talking about single mothers. Remember, even fathers can be single parent. And so they are saying that maybe some of the challenges that we can talk of are psychological and development problems that children who are raised by single parent are likely are at risk of certain psychological and development problem. And they were talking about some may be likely to drop out of schools. So I don't know if you are together there, that these children who are raised by single parent most are more likely to drop out of school, and they are also more vulnerable to alcohol, drugs, and criminal activities. So the reason why they are saying that is because of the challenges that they are facing. They are facing several challenges. Some of them are economic problems. So when we are talking about single parent, remember, for you are talking about single mother, and if okay, even apart from I believe even mothers or fathers need that support from they need to be supported, or they need to support one another to grow economically. So one of the reason why you will find that they are more likely to drop out of school is because of the economic challenges. Maybe another challenge that that are affecting is family instability, whereby you find that this family, they are still unstable, that one parent now mvurutano, okay, Kiswahili si mdomo chetu, but tajaribu mvurutano kati ya wazazi, that I want to stay with this child and the other parent want to stay with this child. So at one point you find that this child is with the mother during the holiday, and then during the school days he or she is with the father. So, and one parent may be refusing or delaying to take the child back to school. So you find that such issues will always lead to these student or teens dropping out of school. And then wanasema major this study was done in Sweden, yenye inaonyesha kwamba it found that children from single parent or single family had twice increased incidence of illness. These are psychological illness and attempt to alcohol abuse, and compared with compared with the two parent homes. Now their reasoning was that kids living with single parents have lower self-esteem. So they talk of lower self-esteem, and some parents may pressure children. Okay, now when we are talking, let me just explain that self-esteem. That you know that you are from a single parent, and you are in school or you are in class. Somebody is talking about their father, how their mother and dad went out and all that. You are there, you only know the mother or the father, so you don't have that self-esteem to contribute or to participate in that kind of discussion. And then wanasema that some parents may pressurize children, and this pressure might come with this is kind of torturing children, that I want to go with, choosing whom they want to go with. So children will not know whom to go with, because one will say that I want to go with you, and the other one will always debate that I want to go with you. That one will torture children psychologically, because wengine watasema I want to go with my mother, and na mwingine anataka I want to go with my dad, and then at the end of it all utabaki na ile guilt kwa life, that why did I choose my mother? What is my father feeling, or what is my father thinking now of me? You will find that these children watabaki na such kind of problem for the rest of their life. Na sasa if you ukiangalia hizo zote utapata that these children will have continuous problem or continuous psychological problem, and especially if they drop out of school, what do you expect? Back to my point, that they are more vulnerable, or they are likely to get into crime. They are more likely to get into crime as opposed to children who are raised by both parents. Remember, or mark my word, they are more likely. I'm not saying that all of them will be, or I'm not saying that this other will not. Remember, I'm using the word they are more likely. Yes. Thank you very much, Madam Agnes. Those are the that's the research that I did. So maybe if you have more.
I actually get what you're trying to say, because I'm looking at a scenario where, assuming myself I had a kid, and I'm a single parent, the income that I get is what I'll use to parent. If the child is going to school, I have to set aside part of the school fees, part of the money I get for school fees, clothing and all that, as compared to if the father was around, whereby we would split bills. If I parent, he's paying school fees, which makes it easier. So I get what you're trying to say, but we need to understand sometimes it happens. What I was arguing with you on Sunday was, if you look at, I don't know what the statistics is, but I maybe can guarantee that 95% of single parents are women. It's hard to find a mother who has left a child and gone. Okay, they are there, but they are a smaller percentage. most of the men are single parents by virtue of maybe death of a spouse. You can agree with me on that.
Now, Madam Agnes, you know I'm laughing is because if you watch 7 p.m. news, you saw that lady who sold a child at 1,000 shillings. That's a lady. That's not a man.
I don't dispute that. What I'm saying is that the highest percentage is mothers. A higher percentage, which I can even say up to 90% of single
because
parents.
Of the Constitution. Madam Agnes, you are a lawyer because of the Constitution. Constitution says
it's not the Constitution that forces, and that this goes to what I would have asked next, because if you look at these statistics, and gladly I'm talking to gentlemen, and on this one I'll focus on the single mothers. Why do we have single mothers? I think that is a starting point. Unless maybe a spouse has died, why do we have single mothers? Why do we have them struggling? What do we need to do to change these statistics that you've just quoted? That they are more likely, children raised by single parents are more likely to get into crime. What then do we need to do to change the statistics? And in this case, before I go to single parents who are men, I want to talk about single mothers. Single fathers, instead of single fathers, I want to discuss single mothers because I have two gentlemen with you. What do we need to do to change these statistics? Talking to you guys as men and as fathers, what needs to be done? Because the problem, we both know where the problem is. Mr. Apollo
now, Madam Agnes.
Let me start with Mr. Apollo.
Well, sorry for those challenges. Network.
Technology.
Well, your question is very interesting. What do we need to do so that we don't have single mothers? I think, to me,
not single mothers, Mr. Apollo, but what do we need to do to change the statistics that Mr. Kimaya has given us?
Yeah, in relation to both single mothers and single fathers.
But specifically to single mothers, in this case, we'll come to single fathers before Mr. Dominic joins us.
I think people should just understand that we are different biologically, and women are then to biologically to be looking at the time, because at the end, maybe you reach 30, you reach 35, you are thinking of maybe having a son, a daughter, or a child, and a man is not even thinking about that. He maybe is thinking other things. So, to me, I think people should change the perception and understand that being single is not let me put it, is not being celeb. But I think it's a matter of us putting our minds together and know that we have all the responsibility. And if you're in a relationship, there's no need of, it's better to give time. And there's no need for us to rush for something which at 28 or 25 or 24, you are a single parent and it will still be a backlog to you. So I think let us give time and let us understand that the marriage institution needs both people, not single. It needs two people. So let us work with that. Marriage needs two people. And those people should understand each other and they should make sure that they go through all that is needed for them to make sure their marriage works. Yes.
So, Mr. Kimaya, your opinion, what do you think we need to do as men to change maybe these statistics before I come to ladies? I'll help answer on the ladies.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Agnes. Now, today, nilikuwa nimejipanga. So, what is leading to this single parenting or all that? Now, I have some statistics here that shows what is leading now. Because now, the first one is divorce. And if you know, if you're divorced, then you're going to become a single parent. So what is leading to divorce? Number one is infidelity. That is carrying around 27% out of 100%. So 27 is infidelity. So that one, you cannot blame it entirely on men. And especially if we revisit our previous conversation, then we are going to blame it 100% on women. Now, Number two is grown apart. So what is grown apart? These are the psychological challenges or the ideologies that now we are talking about. And incompatibility, I believe you understand that one. Now the other one is violence. Maybe that's where men can come in. Violence, that is 10%. And then the other one is money. Money is also leading to divorce. And then a smaller percentage that is leading to divorce is children. That was 1% according to this research. So number one is infidelity. Number two, grown apart. Number three, incompatibility. Number four is violence. And then number five is money. And then the last one is children. So if we know these are the challenges that we are facing, these are the challenges or these are the things that are leading to divorce, then how are we going to change these statistics so that we have kind of a divorce free, or we stop this single parenthood? One is just the way Apollo said, that if you know that if you are in or you are getting into marriage, then first you have to understand what is marriage. Now, one thing that I know, that I like the most is the statement that Pope Francis said, that we don't have perfect husband, neither do we have perfect wife. It is up to you to make that perfect husband. It is up to you to make that perfect wife. So if you know the strength and weaknesses of your husband, then the solution is not running away from them. The solution is not divorcing and then leaving them to be single parent. The solution is holding hand and helping each other to overcome the challenges that they're having. And I believe if we talk of these other challenges, the violence and all that, one thing I normally believe is when you are entering into marriage, then you commit yourself. You have to sacrifice. It's a sacrifice that you're going to make. And somebody told me that marriage, love is not love, or marriage, there's no love in marriage if you are not willing to sacrifice. If you are not willing to sacrifice, if you're just there, everything is just okay, that is romance. That is not love. Love, until you start feeling the pain, until you start feeling the pinch, that is when you know that there is love. If you're not ready to love, if you're not ready to feel the pain, because love is about sacrifice. If you're not able to sacrifice, if you're not ready to sacrifice, then you are not loving. And there will be no marriage without love. So until you start feeling the pain, the rest is romance. When you start feeling the pain, that is sacrifice, that is love, and that is marriage, because marriage is all about love.
We need to understand also that we get single parents not because the father and the mother of the child were married. I may become a single parent by virtue of a relationship, and we were not in a marriage per se. Like, it was not a marriage at all, not even per se. It was not a marriage at all. I got a child, and now I need to raise this child, and the father to this child has amekuruka kijudas kipetero. My idea of all this is that we need to take responsibility. By the time, as a lady and as a man, you're engaging into sex, you are aware of the consequences. And one of the consequences is a child may be formed. I feel, in my opinion, that we never have these discussions prior. As a man and as a lady, we never have this discussion. What if I get a child? What is going to happen? These are discussions that we are afraid to hold in the circumstances. And when it happens, what should happen next? Because I feel you're all responsible. Even if you're not going to end up in a marriage, be there for a child. And if the child is in school and you're not married, even have another family. It's up to you to create time to leave work, attend the child's, maybe if you're required in the child's school, as in just find a way of working it out, even if you're not married. Even if the man has another family, find a way of ensuring that the child does not feel that he's being raised by one parent in absence of the other. That is what I think we need to do. And as a lawyer, let me speak at this point as a lawyer. When someone comes to me with a child maintenance issue, to be honest, I normally advise a lady to, okay, most of those who've come to me are ladies. I normally advise a lady to go to the children's or even school for maintenance. You have a responsibility. We cannot, we need, I think, to end this culture of single parenthood, such that we need to take responsibilities for our actions. If you say a child, be responsible. I mean, how do you sleep at night? Because this is the question I normally ask. How do you sleep at night, maybe as a man, knowing that you have a child somewhere? You don't even know what that child ate. You don't know where they sleep. You don't even know whether he or she has clothes. I don't know. Maybe you can assist me.
So, Madam Agnes, one thing that I normally say, or one thing that I strongly believe, is that we shouldn't have orphan in quote children, knowing that there is a father somewhere or there is a mother somewhere, simply because parents disagreed. I don't know. Or now at this point, I'm a bit selfish because I don't care about the reason why the parent divorced or separated, so that they be single. But again, we shouldn't have children who are orphan, yet the children their parents are living. That's why they become rebellious. And when they become rebellious, you start saying that, oh, this generation, oh, these children, oh, and we become with a lot of ohs without solution. Solution is that their parents are somewhere doing something. And these children, they didn't request to bring themselves on this earth. You are saying that you got a child somewhere, this child doesn't have a father. Kwani wewe ni Mary? Hiyo tu ndio kesi yenye tunajua that at least yeye tu hiyo ilimkujia tu by bahati, yani iko kupenda kwake, hakuenda kutafuta, hakufanya chochote, wala ilikuja na akasema sawa ilete. But if you know that you are not Mary, then be mature. What I mean by being mature here is accepting the responsibility. So if you accept your responsibility, then you become mature, for both ladies and gents. For ladies, if you go there, sorry, najua ita sound harsh, but again, if you go there, get a child with somebody you know it was just a one night stand because either akona pesa ama because of rangi ama because of any stupid reason, and you go get a child, please take the responsibility. Don't start telling us that, oh, Miss G, babake amemruka. Bwanako kuruka, you had an agreement to sleep together.
Let me say something.
What if child comes?
Let me say something.
Yes, Mr. Apollo.
Yes, I think there's a point you have brought out that someone is somewhere, but is not ready to take the responsibility. But also, I think you need to consider those who are ready to give that support and they are denied. What should they do? Should they kill themselves because they don't have that opportunity? No. I think the point is simple. The child it's from the two people, not one single person. Two people contributed to that. So let us all play our part. If I don't want you, but I'm ready to support the child, then let me do that. It's not about that when I want to come in, you give me terms and conditions, and you start to state that this one I don't want, this one I don't want. And if it is that case, then I will throw myself. So you're not going to blame me. I'll just have to take myself back and see what am I going to do. And then if you come back, then I have evidence to show that everything is not working. So let us not take the blame that all we need to do is men to take the responsibility. Let us also look at the terms and conditions that women give to men, so that we underline that.
Yeah, my point is, let us be. Before I hand over to Mr. Kamau, my point was, let us be mature in raising the children if we are separated. We do not need, our children need not suffer because of the differences between the mother and the father. That should not happen. This child should not suffer. So, as a lady and as the man, both need to mature up and know that this child is not responsible. Whatever happened was between the two of you and not the child. So in the upbringing of the child, each of them has a responsibility. As a father, you know you need to provide. As a mother, also you know what you need to provide. If it comes to school, as a father, you can go to the school. As a mother, you have your days you're going to school. Let us learn how to parent, the both of us, so that we can reduce these statistics that Mr. Kimaya has come up with on single children raised by single parents. Because that is the only way.
Not come up with Yawa.
Brought forth, tabled. That is what I was trying to bring about, Mr. Cornelius. I think, Mr. Kimaya, you've said something I don't agree with. You know, you said when a lady goes out there and gets pregnant. You know, these are two consenting adults, and the moment both of them engage in sex, you know the consequences, both of them. So it's up to them, both of them, to take responsibility of what happened, in exception of
and not
rape.
punishing the child.
Yes, I think now that.
So ukirukwa rukika.
Mr. Kamau, Bashasha
Oh,
Riboribo.
yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. Nashukuru sana wakurugenzi. Thank you wananchi wale tumekusanyika hapa leo. So yes, I continue with the questions. Yes. Now, so thank you so much, William Kimaya, for the data you brought. Very interesting. I have not had it, but I from what the reaction I've had from Agnes.
It wasn't
so
friendly.
Now, Cornelius, let's we have how many minutes? 3 minutes. Okay, fine. Cornelius, so from the Facebook, I have seen the question that have you dealt with the question of same-sex issues?
No.
We've actually talked only about single parenthood.
You've been talking about
single parenthood. That's the only thing we discussed. Yes.
Okay, great. So let us then pick from there. There is this question that you know, William Kerr mentioned and Agnes has spoken about, and that's the question I want to ask Cornelius Opolo. Do you think, in your opinion, that women should take more responsibility when it comes to this one-night stand and stuff that Kimaya has mentioned? And Agnes Silantoya said, hey, no, okay? It's everybody in the table.
I think, thank you, Mr. Dominic. To me, or according to me and my understanding, Agnes has said it very clearly. These are too mature, and they should take responsibility for that one stand night. So then,
wait, not stand night.
Yeah.
Night stand. That is stand night.
Night stand. So if the two, because I don't think someone was forced. Someone was not forced. The two agreed. They talked. There was a conversation. So which means they outlined their own conditions and their own rules and whatever. So if it happened, then the two have to carry the luggage, not entirely on women, because it's not that women are going with women, it's women and men for that. So to me, it's both. And they are
so the luggage is a child.
The luggage is a child, and they should both take responsibility.
Ni mtoto umeta luggage, yani hata what? All right. Okay. All right. So now, one issue that we have not discussed about is, maybe I don't know if you have discussed about, is the question of dowry, is the question of you know, all those issues, how important they are. So there are some young who would say, you know, I want to get married. I think we spoke about this at some point last time. And then they would say, you know, well, I don't have, I'm not able to pay for it. But more importantly, there are those who are saying, why should I go in front of people and commit myself and then hii kitu ikose kufanya kazi, ikose kuwork. Okay, see, it's better if it's not going to work, then you should not have told everybody that yes, I'm going to marry this person forever. 1 year or 2 years down the line, it did not work. See, to avoid embarrassment, it's better just to fanya kitu chini ya maji. Agnes Silantoi, what do you think?
Hi. Me, I'm not a chini ya maji person, by the way. No, I'm not doing things chini ya maji. Man, you have to announce to the whole world. If it is me, it is me.
Yeah, but we have also mentioned that kuna wale wanasema it is you, but it is you plus you plus you plus you. Yes, but bottom line is it is you, but among other yous.
I think by the time you're afraid of maybe making the dowry, or I think there has to be reasons that are making you afraid. And most of the time, maybe I will tend to think that in the course of the relationship, maybe there is something that has caused that. Why should you not be sure that this is the person you really want? Why should you have doubts of the marriage working if really this is the person that you want? I think we have redefined love and marriage, in my opinion. Because if you're sure that this is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, I don't think why you should have doubts of the future. What will happen in 2 years? My opinion.
Okay, masikia maneno. That's a good idea. I don't know what William Kimai you say. What would you say?
Dominic, you know, I'm always anti-dowry. Why? Because one,
ni mwanaume na utalipa. That is the reason.
Okay, even if I'll pay dowry, I'm against it. Why? Because of several reasons. Why? Okay, you know, like just the way I said last time here, if I'm forced to pay dowry to Silantoi now, after paying or after clearing that dowry, I've said for example. Now, like from my culture, you're supposed to clear that dowry once. So if today I go to Silantoi's parent and then they tell me that I have to pay 12 million, if I clear that 12 million, then she becomes.
Hata Silantoi hakuamini ni pesa nyingi sana.
12 million. Okay, sawa. Then after clearing that 12 million, Silantoi becomes a property, not a wife. And that's now leads to the third cause of divorce that we talked about violence. So if Silantoi is my property, then I'll treat her as a property, not as a wife. That is one reason why sipendi stories of dowry. Secondly, we are told that dowry is a form of appreciation. Now, who said that my parent doesn't or don't want to be appreciated? Nowadays, they even bargain dowry in terms of education. We assume that I have a master's or PhD, and then my wife has got diploma. Who should be paid? Who should be appreciated?
Utabeba mimba? Sababu uko na masters.
Nimebeba hiyo nini yote ndio nimpasi abebe mimba.
Utabeba mimba sababu uko na masters.
Hapana, nitabeba mimba, lakini mimi nimebeba sperms hizo miaka zote, so nimempatia tu at least a baby for 9 months.
That's kibaya.
Silantoi ongea. Hiyo vile umekunja uso, just ongea tu. Ni sawa.
Yes, tunangoja.
You know, if you're going to say that the person becomes your property, that is all in your head. The moment you pay the dowry and you now view this person as a property just because you've paid dowry, you know, we also need to appreciate customs. We all have customs and beliefs, the customary laws that we follow. But I understand that we've had communities, or rather people, let me not generalize to communities, but individuals in a community who will, dowry has become a form of extortion. And that's why we get what Mr. Kimaya is saying, viewing one as a property because you feel you've been extorted. I believe in relationships, it's all a matter of sitting and agreeing, you know? Like the people who are getting into the marriage, they have a bit of say in their families. So because the moment it gets to a point of extortion, that is what we get from what Mr. Kimaya has said. That person starts viewing you as a property. But again, also that does not mean we do away with the issue of dowry, because these are customs that we are accustomed to. But again, Mr. Kimaya spams surely. That does not mean it's been free as well. I mean, as ladies, they also go through a lot of things in the course even before they get pregnant. So.
I agree, Dominic.
Cornelius.
Yeah.
Ngoja William. Because mimi hata swali yangu ilikuwa mtu ambaye anaogopa anasema hii this marriage won't work. Kwa nini aoe? Wewe ukaleta mambo ya dowry. Kwa hivyo sasa nyamaza wewe kidogo. Nyamaza tu hapo. Cornelius.
Yes.
Tell me this man things.
Well, I think I'll just go with what Agnes has said. Some individuals have taken the responsibility of making making it dowry issue to be them and getting rich out of it. So it's not a matter of the whole community. We have people who are very, very straightforward that it's just an appreciation you're taking to them and they appreciate that. It's not that they are trying to get something big out of you, but they're trying to see that their daughter is going to the person whom is going to take care of her very well. So let us not take individuals and place them in a community where we know some people applaud those customary laws very, very well. So that's my opinion.
Okay, Kimaya, sasa jitetee sasa.
Okay, Dominic, I agree with Madam Silantoi. That wacha tubakishe dowry kama custom, yani venye amesema wacha ikuwe ni kama ile culture, lakini si ati tuanze kudiktetiwa ati kuja na 12 cows. If I give willingly, if I know that okay, now I'm able to pay.
Excuse me.
You go and negotiate.
Excuse me.
Nowadays you negotiate dowry. So if
wait. First of all, you cannot pronounce cows like that. You said 12 cows. Wakamba unapeleka kama dowry kwa nini? Okay. Go ahead.
Wakamba wakati. Ndio nasema if at all tumeenda ku negotiate and then we are told that okay, you have to pay 12 cows. And then niseme enyewe these 12 cows ni normal. I can afford 10 cows. This one I can afford. And then unikataze. Niende ningangane nitafute ng'ombe zingine mbili. What do you think is going through my mind? Enye hapo hivyo I was forced to do something that I was not willing. But if at all tumekuja tuka-agree that okay, you can only pay that, then please go ahead and pay. I will take this, yani msichana nitamchukua kwa moyo mkunjufu. Sijika hiyo ni Kiswahili. Nitamchukua kwa mikono miwili na nita appreciate, and with that it will build that relationship that bado nitakuwa na psyche ya kurudi kwao, psyche ya kurudi kuona wazazi na but ile moment umeniambia lipa 12,000 na umekwamia hapo hivyo, nitangangana na nilipe, utaenionea kwa view sasa kurudi kwenye.
Sasa Adam alilipa dowry na mfupa, alilipa whole rib. Mfupa ikatolewa, wewe ni ng'ombe unakataa nazo. Anyway,
Mr. Kamau, before maybe you proceed,
yes.
Let me maybe say something. There's a reason why it's called dowry negotiation, because you're going to negotiate. We've also seen cases where, yeah, they do. There are those who do. We've had cases where the court ruled return of dowry that a man had paid after some time. I believe there are also cultures that have the same. If I'm not wrong, there are cultures that have that. So,
in India, let me tell you, when I was there, some of the friends who I made, they were telling me how it's the opposite. The man beats the wife or is violent towards the wife for not finishing her dowry towards him. Okay, so it's the opposite. So yeah, it becomes a big problem where the man says, hata hujai maliza hata kunilipia kulipa dowry yangu wewe. Huh? Wewe ni mke aina gani? Wewe ni mke aina gani? Hata ikawa hapa namaliza bwana. So that's how it is. Now let us go to the last point of this discussion, bwana. The question of Kimaya, I think you're the one who posted this. That English looked like yours. Can same-sex unions be called marriage? Okay, I think there's still a lot to discuss in these issues of human sexuality. But for the purposes of time, we're almost 10 minutes into our time. Late. Who wants to start on this? And yes, if yes, why? And if no, why not? So since Kimaya, you are the one who put this, I will start with Cornelius.
Well, to me, it's no. That's not a marriage. I think human beings, I don't know what to say, but I think we are trying to form our own gods with small g. That the one who instituted that the two should come together and be one is now returned that the two of the same sex should come together and be one. That's really against from the beginning, from God, from even our cultural perspective, is not right. So I think people should understand procreation is not between man and man, it's between man and a woman. And God created us to continue that so that the world or the world should continue, or the earth, or we should also help other living beings in this earth. So if we focus on the two, I don't know what you're going to get. That's another question. What are we going to get? Are we continuing the procreation, or are we trying to tell God that it is the end, so that we form another? I don't know. That's my opinion.
Okay. Very strong opinion. Now, William, I know you're very eager to say something. Okay, so Agnes.
I was really hoping we'll start with Mr. Kimaya. I'm really interested in Mr. Kimaya's opinion.
Okay, Kimaya, yes, Kimaya. You see, everybody is excited. Kwani unakuaga unachezea timu gani? Haya, tuambie.
Anakuwa na statistics.
Dominic, ladies first. So siji kwa nini unataka niongee mbele ya Agnes?
Men in front.
Okay. Can same-sex be called marriage? To me, is a no. Why? Because what is marriage biblically? So this one is from Christian perspective. So we are going biblically. In the book of Genesis, inasema, a man shall leave his father and mother na aende aunganishwe na mwanamke, so that they be joined together to be a wife and a husband. So to me, marriage, I'll define marriage as a relationship between a man and a woman, people of two different sex, for this purpose of okay, najua hizi zingine zinazapatikana if you do if you continue with the other sex, but I mean if you continue with the so-called marriage, men to men or women to women. I'm talking about now, why are you getting into marriage? One is to get children. Two is companionship. Three is for conjugal right. So hizo zingine zote siji, okay, the first one, which is also very important, and as per the statistics, muliona hata nyi wenyewe, if I tell you are keen with my statistics, 1% of divorce cases inaonyesha kwamba is because of children. So if you're not able to give me children, then we are going to divorce. So if a man and a man, or a woman and a woman comes together, what are they going to produce? So if
okay, let's go hapo. I think let us take that idea. Let us expound on that one. Okay, Silantoi. First of all, do you want to say something? Because there's some things that Kimaya said we need to ask questions.
There's so many things that Mr. Kimaya said that needed questions.
Yes.
I don't know whether we can even be able to finish today, or rather we'll still push to you to continue the next the same discussion on Sunday.
Mimi sina shida. Mimi na maswali ninakuwa mingi sana. Mimi I have questions about life. So, first of all, Silanjoy, these two gentlemen have made the basis, the Bible their basis. Now someone comes and say, me, I don't believe in your God, or I'm not even a Christian. So why are you saying no to me? Or someone comes and says, look, there are many heterosexual couples who also don't want children. So I don't want to go into a marriage to procreate. I just want companionship and conjugal rights. Does that not destroy Kimaya's argument and this man called Cornelius because they resorted to procreation?
Actually, I was to only agree with them on the Christian point of view and biblically. But in my own view, so biblically, it's but in my own opinion, this is a discussion that I would really want to delve in. I would really like to understand the mind of maybe a homosexual. I would really love to sit down and understand them. Perhaps maybe I'll have a different opinion on what goes on. I really avoid this topic until I get to understand. I've never gotten to understand, to have a sit down and understand. But my own view is, to be honest, so long as whatever they're doing does not affect me. But this is only for this specific issue. Whatever they're doing in their own closed door does not affect me, and whatever they're doing. But I really first would like to understand them. I really would love to have a sit down and understand whatever they do, whatever goes on in their mind. Then I can be able to really tell per se. But biblically, no.
Dominic.
Yes, Cornelius.
I remember yesterday we said, I think, if I'm wrong, well, but I think in the Paul is no on Sunday.
Yesterday.
No, on Sunday. And I think Paul is talking about if you cannot get married, then go and serve the Lord. So if a man you don't want to get married, then go and serve the Lord.
The problem is this man you are talking to does not believe in the Lord. So which Lord is he going to serve?
So which God does he define himself with?
That's the problem. For him, that conversation of the Lord does not exist because a Lord does not exist, or the only Lord that exists is himself. And
it should be himself, not with others.
Ooh, okay,
Dominic.
Interesting.
Now, Dominic,
Kimaya.
I think the whole thing here is we need to define what is marriage and where does it start. Why am I saying so? Because you see, I've also never understood what is marriage, because if I go to church now, just wait, Apollo, just wait. But that will just attachment. So if I go to church, I'll be told that marriage is when you've done church wedding. If I go to traditional whatever, I'll be told marriage is when you paid dowry or when you cleared the dowry. If I come to two individuals who want to marry or who want to engage in marriage, they will tell me that marriage is when these two agrees. So I don't know where does marriage start. I don't know. Paulo, you cannot combine all those things, or unless you tell us how you're going to combine.
None of them are marriages. It depends.
Okay, now we have a problem of what marriage is. Even we don't even know what it is.
Now, Dominic, with that we'll be able to define, because now if we exclude that church aspect, then we can bring the same sex, and we will say that theirs is also marriage because they've agreed as two individuals. If
so, who
we must
marriage?
bring in, yes, exactly, that's the question. To me, okay, let me not answer, but that's the question. Who defines marriage? Is it the church? Is it the tradition? Is it individuals or those who want to get married? Who defines marriage?
God
So is the
defined
problem marriage or the problem is sex? Silantoi.
marriage. Another question. Hey,
You know, this
Sasa
discussion. Okay, continue.
Silantoi anataka kujibu hiyo swali. Amesema sasa continue please. Hiyo swali ni gumu. Ni
No, because
kweli.
you are using something. Yeah, it's actually hard because the discussion was even taken a 360-degree turn
Why?
from the discussion we were having.
Before I came.
But I actually agree with Mr. Kimaya. Funny enough, today we are agreeing. I think we need
Yes, finally.
to start with where does marriage start? When do we say that this is a marriage? Is it when we do a church wedding? Is it when there is a traditional? Is it when I have a marriage certificate? When do we say that there is a marriage?
Okay, that's a good question. So maybe first of all we need to say I don't know what has happened because I can now hear myself echoing back. I think somebody's two gadgets are on volume.
Sorry, somebody was calling. Sorry.
Oh, that's Kimaya.
Ilikuwa Kimaya?
Yes.
Of course. He got very excited when he realized that Silantoi has agreed with him. Now, so I think now one of the things that's come is even separate from, and maybe we can even close at this point. I think the point that has come even separate from the question of same-sex unions, whether they can be quantified as qualified as marriage is, first of all, what marriage is, okay? Secondly, is it a social institution or is it an individual innovation, okay? If it's an individual innovation, then it's up to each person to define what it is. But unfortunately, marriage or the procreation has social implications. So it cannot be an individual innovation. So it has a social character. So that's the first thing. If you don't bring up your children well and they come to steal from us, then we have a problem. That's why we have an interest in making sure that we know who the father and mother is, as far as I can tell. So anyway, I think we can stop from here because first of all, I'm moderating. I don't even know why I'm giving ideas. I have no idea. But what if we stop here and then we pick it up from the other time? Sherman, unasemaje?
Iko sawa. And now, when we come back, then we'll just want to know what is marriage and where does it begin. Because with that, we will be able to answer all the next questions.
Your work is set, guys, because now you know we have sologamy, right? I know you have asked about sologamy. Sologamy is people marrying themselves. Yeah. It's called sologamy. Yeah. If you go to, I don't know, I think it's called Strange Addictions on YouTube or Facebook. Is it Strange Addiction? You will see people who have married vehicles, people who have married cranes, people who have married chandeliers. They say I have married this car. I know I have had sex with many cars, but finally I have decided. So now that brings us to the question: what is sex? Okay. So all these things are very, very important. So we shall be exploring that next time, dearest viewers. Mungu awabariki wale mmeweza kutazama. We will see you on Sunday, the day of the Lord, God willing. Good night. God bless. Thank you, William, Popolo, Silantoi, and the viewers. Good night. Bye.
So, sorry, Dominic, before you leave, John Mbote is saying that he needs that apple juice first before he says anything. So I also need it. So Mbote tuko pamoja, and then we have Hadi Putra Pandawa, who's been following. And for all those who've been following and sharing your comments and liking the page, thank you very much. Please continue viewing.
First of all, it's passion. Good night.